This is the 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL. It was the replacement for the becoming quite dated Jeep Wrangler JK. It brought all new luxurious features to the Wrangler platform, such as a backup camera for the first time in a Wrangler, heated seats and a heated steering wheel, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and much more. Here in 2025, you can still purchase a new Jeep Wrangler JK. However, with some changes in powertrains as well as some technology over time, the 2018 model is starting to look really appealing on the used market. Today, let's check out why. Hello everybody and welcome to Apple Autos. My name is Austin and today I'm going to be your host on telling you all about the Jeep Wrangler JK that sits behind me. If you are interested in purchasing it, it is available for sale for $28,299 at Apple Ford Apple Valley in Apple Valley, Minnesota. It only has 44,000 miles on it and it is pretty dang clean, so if you're interested, be sure to check out the link down in the description below. Now you may be curious as to why, Austin, are you making a video on a 2018 Jeep Wrangler when it's still the same platform as a brand new one? And you can go buy a brand new one for quite honestly not a whole lot more than the outgoing 2018 models or 2019 or 2020, so on and so forth. Well, if you actually look at the used market, something that's very interesting to me is if you look at the Rubicon models with the 3.6 liter and 8-speed automatic, you will notice that with, 50, 60,000 miles on them, they're very similar price to the recently released, or about 2 years ago now, Jeep Wrangler 4xE. You can find them at a price point not too terribly far apart, and that is because I think the Jeep Wrangler is currently going downhill in reliability, making these older models of JK the ones that are more highly sought after on the current used car market. So just like everything out there, these Wranglers have gone up in value when it comes to the new vehicles. It's over $60,000 now to get a new Rubicon. However, on the used market, you could find Rubicons around $30,000 now with around 40,000 miles on them, which is pretty dang impressive. I highly recommend finding one with a 3.6 liter V6 because of some electrical issues that people are finding in the 4-cylinder models, because it doesn't have an alternator and it uses like this battery pack to recharge the system. Not 100% sure how it works, but I haven't heard amazing things about them compared to the 3.6, which are known to have some minor cooling issues here and there, some issues with radiators. Around 150,000 miles, you may have to do camshafts inside of this vehicle, which can be kind of a big job. But ultimately, this is the most reliable powertrain you can find in a Jeep Wrangler, and it's paired to an 8-speed ZF automatic, which is actually quite reliable as long as it's taken care of well. You can find this transmission used in pretty much every Jeep Wrangler after 2018, unless it is paired with the manual transmission. You can also find this transmission used in a variety of different Dodge products, including the Dodge Demon. You can find this transmission used on a variety of different BMW products, even some of the M models. You can even find this transmission used on Jaguar models, such as like the F-Type. So this transmission is very widely used. It has been proven in reliability, and I highly recommend finding one at the 8-speed auto. Before I get into a few other things, let's just finish up on the reliability of these on the used car market, just so you guys are made aware. One of the things these are known for is some suspension wear and tear over time. They kind of run through ball joints decently quick, especially if you lift them and put big wheels and tires on them. They're going to run through those faster. So you could look at getting some more robust ball joints over time. Also, if you find one with wheels and tires, it definitely is going to be running through some of those suspension components faster than some other ones on the market if they have not all been upgraded accordingly and it's just been kind of a cheap lift, wheels and tires. It may look cool, but just so you guys are aware, you might run through some of those things in a lot less miles than you might be used to. Also, you're going to need a larger or more aggressive piece on the back to hold your back tire on if you have larger wheels and tires or are wanting to do that. Just a heads up so you guys are aware on the used car market. Now, other than those things I just listed on the exterior and driving components, that is pretty much all the issues you're going to end up finding on these. Comment down below if I missed anything that you guys have experienced in your ownership. As you hop onto the interior, the Uconnect system can sometimes have this kind of ghost screen I've heard some people talk about, where it randomly presses buttons. If you have your phone connected, it'll call people. That can be an issue on these Wranglers, and also just wear and tear on the interior. Buttons seem to wear fast, kind of sticky buttons, worn steering wheel. This one has both of those. So even with only 40,000 miles on it, that could be something that you come across on the used car market. Now let's talk about why I think these are so appealing. Jeep absolutely knocked it out of the park with the JK Wrangler. It was a huge hit. People absolutely loved it. But the JL added so many creature comforts for your daily driving and road driving that it makes it so much more appealing to pursue one on the used car market. Items like I brought up in the start of this video, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, but we also got blind spot assist. We got ourselves a backup camera. We have a better feel driving down the road. It's still a little bit loose because we have a solid front end, of course, or solid axles, I should say. So it isn't necessarily like tighter feeling, but it does feel a little bit more stable than the JK Wrangler felt when you're going down the road. It also brought all types of different refinements to the interior that make it feel so much more modern than the previous JK Wrangler did, which make it so much more appealing. Now you can still purchase this, and they did come out with a new screen from 2024 and so forth, but they've started to have a lot of reliability issues when it comes to some of the new technology they've put inside of these. Now, I know I'm going to get hate comments, people saying, well, I haven't experienced this. Well, a lot of people have experienced this. This has been an ongoing issue with some Stellantis products recently. The 4xe has depreciated in value faster than any Wrangler ever, to the point where you can get 4xes for similar price as older Rubicons. So if Jeep continues down this path, I can see the JLs actually starting to climb in value a little bit or stay right where they're at for a long period of time. If the new Wranglers are so unreliable that people aren't going to want to purchase them, then these old Wranglers are going to go up in value as these ones stay and slowly decrease further because no one wants to buy new ones. So that makes these ones very appealing, and it doesn't feel like these are dated either. Yes, this did come out in 2018, which is starting to get somewhat old, but it did run all the way from 2018 to 2023 with practically zero changes. And if you're shopping for one of these used, let me break down some of the trims for you. The Sport is the really base model one. You're going to find those to be quite a bit cheaper. They depreciate a lot faster, and right above that is the Sport S. Now the Sport, between the Sport S you can option a few more things on, such as you can get heated seats on a Sport S, you can get blind spot assist on a Sport S, however you can't get leather and a few other things like that. You go up to the Sahara, and that's where things get really appealing. This is the road going Wrangler. This is definitely the one that people are going to want for getting around town. They also can get painted fenders, you can get painted bumpers on certain ones, and the Sahara adds all of that stuff, and you can also get a painted body color match top with the Sahara, which you cannot do on the lower trim. So on the Sport and Sport S, you're gonna have plastic for the fenders and a black hard top no matter what, or black soft top, of course. Then you move your way up to the Willys. Now in 2021, the Willys is very appealing to me on the used market, because 2021 Plus, if you look for the right one, you can actually spec the Willys with a locking rear differential. So I think that's very appealing. It really adds a ton of off-road capability to the Wrangler, and it makes it the one that if you want to go for off-road trails but on the road a lot too, I think the Willys is the way to go. If you want the all-out, just pure off-road beast, you can get the Rubicon, which gives you the sway bar disconnect, the locking front and rear diffs, as well as a small lift, larger, more aggressive tires. It is the most aggressive and the highest value holding Wrangler. If you could purchase a, let's say, for example, I did find a current Wrangler Rubicon for sale right now with about 35,000 miles on it for $30,000. If you were to purchase a Wrangler at that mileage with that price point, if you were to look at older Wranglers and look at how the JK is holding in value with the Rubicon models versus the others, I think the Rubicon is the absolute buy if you're looking for a vehicle to hold its value over time. You're not going to lose much money purchasing a lower mileage Wrangler Rubicon from 2018 forward. I think those are going to hold their values quite well as long as it is not a 4-cylinder or a 4xe. The 4-cylinders are a little bit cheaper on the market than the 3.6s. What are some must-have options on the used market if you're searching for a Wrangler as well? Be sure to find one with the tech package, what gives you the Alpine sound system, which is about 8 speakers, has a big subwoofer in the trunk, and it is a huge upgrade over the base system. The LED lights are really dang cool. It was a very expensive option from the factory. This one does not have it. However, just for an example, on the aftermarket, you can purchase a full fog light, headlight, running light, tail light kit for about $500, which swaps all of those with the halogen connectors to LEDs. So in my opinion, that is not a necessity on the used car market, because you can find even cooler ones than factory for a lower cost than finding ones with them on the market right now. So not a necessity in my opinion. The larger Uconnect screen is really nice. However, the one that's slightly smaller than the 8.4 is pretty good as well. Just the normal radio one, that's the super tiny screen, highly recommend staying away from that, just because you're going to really want the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's very nice to have on a day-to-day basis. Other options you may want on the used car market are the hard top. The reason I say that is, at least here in Minnesota, is because it gets so dang cold in winter. That soft top, you're just cranking that heat to keep it warm in there because so much cold air gets through that soft top, and it's very noisy on the highway, especially on high wind days. It is nice if you live in a warmer climate to just throw that thing down, and that also comes into the seats. If you're gonna have your top off quite often, I highly recommend getting cloth seats because of the temperature of them. Basically, if you have leather seats, everything in there is just going to be scorching hot. If you like having your doors off, your top off, it just carries heat. So the cloth seats, even on very hot days, you can still easily touch, sit down in, and they're nice. And you can get heated seats with the heated steering wheel with the cloth seats. So in my opinion, do not get leather in a Wrangler, and the cloth seats are also, in my opinion, more comfortable than the leather. When we also come back to tops, you can also get this hard top, of course, which you can easily remove the front two tops. This is its own section, unlike the Ford Bronco, which has two sections here, one section here, and then another section on the back. So just so you're aware, it does take two to three people to get this back top off. It's kind of heavy. Now, there's also one other top, which is almost a $4,000 option on the Jeep Wrangler, the Skyview, which looks just like a hard top, but the center of it is cloth and it rolls back power electronically. As far as I can tell online, I can't find many people that have had any reliability issues with these. If you're concerned with snow, they say it can hold up to 300 pounds, so that is an option on the used car market as well. Ultimately, it's really hard to go wrong with the JL Wrangler. 2018 plus, 8-speed 3.6, you are going to have a fantastic, long-running, reliable vehicle, and I highly recommend purchasing one. If you can find one with low miles or even just a well-taken care of high mileage example, definitely be sure to keep your eye out for a JL Wrangler. They are a ton of fun. They're great to drive. You can pull the doors off, the top off. You can go take it up a mountain. They are great, just out-of-the-box vehicles, just straight from the factory. They're very easy to work on. I highly recommend purchasing a used JL Wrangler like shown in today's video. I've had a lot of fun with Wranglers in my life. I think they're a great platform. Had a lot of memories taking these up mountains in Telluride, Colorado. Some of the greatest trails in America there too, with just killer views, Emojine and Black Bear Pass. Very, very cool spots that you can just take this on a long road trip and go drive up a mountain and drive it home. And there's not many vehicles that you can say that about. There's only a handful on the market that are in this class. You have yourself the Jeep Wrangler, the Land Rover Defender, the Mercedes G-Wagon, which is way over budget out of the rest of them, as well as the Ford Bronco. But you can find these JL 2018 plus Wranglers under $30,000 now for non-Rubicon models, under $30,000 now for high-mile Rubicon models. And I just think they are an amazing bang for your buck, and I highly recommend one. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the JL Jeep Wrangler, and let me know some memories and stories you have down in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video here on Apple Autos. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help support this channel, and I'll see you guys next time.